Just about everyone faces the daily dilemma of not having enough time to do everything that needs to be done. This leads to stress, anxiety, unmet obligations, and a general feeling of frustration. But there is something that you can do about it. You can listen and learn the best kept secret in the world for managing time. Why time management? If we could manage time more effectively, we would get more things done in less time, with much less stress. Is there a secret to managing time? Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus when it comes to time management, and you're about to learn the secret. Let's start with a definition of time management. In other words, what do we mean by this whole thing of being able to manage time? Time management is the process of planning and exercising conscious control, with an emphasis on the word conscious, over the amount of time that we spend on specific activities, with the intent or goal to increase effectiveness, which relates to the speed with which we can do things, boost efficiency, which would deal with the cost for doing things, and productivity, which means our output, our ability to get things done. Do you ever feel like the person in this slide? She says to her boss or coworker, "My calendar is way overbooked, and I'm 3 months behind in my work. I don't have time to attend a time management seminar." I think we all experience that feeling at one time or another, that we get so busy doing what we're doing that we don't take the time to organize and to see how we might be able to do it better or more effectively. There is a relationship between our ability to manage time and stress. When you don't manage your time effectively, you will fall behind in your work. When you fall behind in your work, you experience stress. Stress will continue to build up and add pressure every day until you find a way to get on top of your time management capability. Let's take a look at the typical parish work environment. Parishes operate with relatively small, or in some instances no, departmental staffs. The pastor must rely upon volunteers to fill in the gaps in an attempt to get everything done. There's usually more things to do than there's time available or people available to get it all done. The activity is dynamic. Things change hour to hour, day to day, week to week. It's always something that has to be done. There are many last-minute requirements. Parishioners want this. A ministry head needs this. Someone from the archdiocese makes a request. It's all very dynamic. Your parishioners have very little understanding, appreciation, or empathy for your challenges and realities. They simply expect that you will somehow get it all done, somehow, some way. So, the parish is a rare blend of spiritual, operational, administrative, financial, and social activities. You are, in the parish, a true service organization. You serve the parishioners and ministries in the parish. Parish work environment can certainly add to the stress level that you experience. We all experience symptoms of time stress. Let's take a look at some of these more familiar ones. First, important tasks are not getting done. In other words, due to the stress that you experience, stress builds up and you become less effective in managing your time. As a result, less work gets done. Next, you're irritable. Your fellow workers are the first to notice this. You're not a very happy person to be around. Third, you experience fatigue. You tire more easily. That's the impact of stress. You've got too much on your mind, and it causes a physical reaction, and you get tired more easily. Next, you lose concentration and focus. You have a heightened anxiety. You forget things easily. You can't remember where you put something or what you were going somewhere to get. Do you stand there, you look around and say to yourself, what did I want? Why did I come here? What do I need? Very embarrassing. Next, you take work home. You go to bed with it. You wake up with it. It's on your mind constantly. You just can't get away from it. And this is a function result of stress. Some of your physical symptoms. You might experience heartburn, or headaches, or nervous tics, anxiety attacks. Next, you have perhaps a withdrawal or depression. You want to be left alone. You become grouchy. You just don't want to be around people, a function of stress. Your productivity suffers. Like the old adage, the harder you work, the behinder you get. Stress takes over and you become less effective. Productivity suffers. There are two important realities about time management I'd like to stress. These are really important issues, so sit up, listen, and take notes. The first reality is this: your total personal and office workload will always exceed your available time. I want to repeat that. Your total personal and office workload will always exceed your available time. You will never get everything done. You will never get everything done. You will never get caught up. You'll never get caught up. Get over it. Accept it. Move on. The second reality is you can't manage time. Time is what it is. You can't stop, start, or manipulate it. All you can do is manage how you use time. The two time management realities bring us to a significant and really important time management conclusion. And it's this: you must learn how to get those things done that must be done, that must be done in the available time. The implication here is that you're not going to get everything done, so you've got to work on those things that must be done in the time that you have available. This implies very directly that you're going to have to establish priorities for the type of things that you are doing. There is, in fact, a time management solution. The solution, quite simply and directly, is get organized. You need to apply the best kept secret in the world. The drums would roll, the trumpets would blare, and the best kept secret in the world is create a to-do list. Yes, create a to-do list. Something as obviously simple as that is, in fact, the best kept secret in the world when it comes to time management. Sounds simple, and you might say, well, I'm a little bit disappointed in that. That's kind of obvious. Well, it isn't. The fact is that if you Learn to do this regularly and routinely every day. That will be your secret in terms of how you manage your time more effectively. Okay, you might say, I got the idea, the importance of creating a to-do list, but where do I start? Well, there's a three-step process. Step one is to sit down, make a list of everything that you have to do. Don't worry about how long it is. Just put it all down on paper. Make short notes next to it so you can remind yourself later on what the item is all about. This you would call your master to-do list. Now what I do when I prepare this list, I take a look at all of the things on my desk, the files, the papers, the notes, the phone calls, etc. And I just record each one. And I do the same thing for all of the personal things that I have to do at home or away from the office. All of this is important to capture on your master list because it all affects the amount of time that you have to work with. So you want to capture everything. The second step in the process is to sort the list into three piles or categories. You're going to create an A list, things that must be done as soon as possible. These are really the most important things on your desk. A B list, things that have to be done but not immediately. They're the things which are done after you work on the A list. And finally, the C list, things that you would like to do if and when you have time to do them. Now this process is extremely important because you're making judgments here about what's important or the degree of importance. And it's this process in making these decisions which allow you to bring up to the surface or to identify the things which are really the most important things that you have to do. This is critical in terms of managing your activities and your time. The third step in the process of creating your to-do list is to create your daily to-do list from your master to-do list. What you do is identify the top 10 things that you have to do today. Now, you're evaluating not only the most important things that you have to do, but also the fact that they are things that have to be done today. You prioritize them from 1 to 10, with number 1 being the most important, and work all through your list until you achieve all of them. Even if you never finish priority number 1, or you finished only priority number 1, you can go home at night with the realization that you had a good day because you were working on the right things at the right time. And you simply repeat this process every day because every day is dynamic and your to-do list can and should change in relation to what's important each day. There's an additional benefit of creating a daily to-do list. It's a therapeutic value, and that once you get it on the list, you're not going to forget about it. It's going to be there, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. You can concentrate then on the things that you really have to get done. That brings us to the end of our presentation on time management. Let me summarize the learning points that we presented in this session. First, you can't manage time. You can only manage what you do with time. Next, the reality is that your workload will always be greater than your available time. You will never be caught up Therefore, you got to get over it. Life moves on. It is what it is. Apply the best kept secret in the world for time management by creating a to-do list, both a master list of all that you have to do and your daily list of those things that you need to work on each day. There are 3 steps in creating a to-do list. Number 1, write down everything you have to do on your master list. Number 2, sort the list into A, B, C categories or priorities. And number 3, prioritize your A list by establishing what your number 1 priorities are. Next, plan your time. Start each day by preparing your daily to-do list. Schedule your time based on what you need to do and how much time you have available. In closing, let me know if you have any questions or need any assistance. God bless you, and thank you for your commitment to your parish and ministry.